Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Nishit Kumar and with me is Ramya with the evening news. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi participates in Diwali Deepotsav at Ayodhya. Says Ayodhya is reflection of our culture and showcases India's might. Prime Minister says Lord Ram is the symbol of Indian spirit which believes our rights and self-evident by our duties. Asserts Lord Ram is inspiration behind the slogan of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. India beat arch-rival Pakistan by 4 wickets in a nail-biting finish in the World Cup T20 at Melbourne. Home Minister, Defence Minister and Sports Minister congratulate the team. ISRO successfully launches LV-M3-M2, the first dedicated commercial mission to place all 36 satellites into the intended orbits. Rishi Sunak confirms to run for the next Prime Minister of Britain, and cyclone Sitarang likely to trigger rainfall in the northeast, West Bengal and Odisha from tonight. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has called upon the people to learn from the ideals of Lord Shri Ram, addressing a gathering at Ramkatha Park at Ayodhya in Uttar Pradesh after he said that Lord Shri Ram is called Maryada Purushottam and Maryada teaches us to have respect for others and also to give respect. The Prime Minister is in Ayodhya to take part in Diwali Deepotsav celebrations. He said Lord Ram is the symbol of Indian spirit which believes our rights are self-evident by our duties.
Ram भारत की उस भावना के प्रतीक है जो मानती है कि हमारे अधिकार हमारे कर्तव्यों से स्वयं सिद्ध हो जाते हैं। इसलिए हमें कर्तव्यों के प्रति समर्पित होने की जरूरत है। और संयोग देखिए, हमारे संविधान की जिस मूल प्रति पर भगवान राम, मां सीता और लक्ष्मण जी का चित्र अंकित है, संविधान का वो पृष्ठ भी मौलिक अधिकारों की बात करता है.
The Prime Minister said Diwali this year is being celebrated at a time when the country has completed 75 years of independence and countrymen are celebrating Amrit Mahotsav of independence.
आजादी के इस अमृत काल में भगवान राम जैसी संकल्प शक्ति देश को नई ऊंचाई पर ले जाएगी. भगवान राम ने अपने वचन में, अपने विचारों में, अपने शासन में, अपने प्रशासन में जिन मूल्यों को घड़ा वो सबका साथ, सबका विकास की प्रेरणा है और सबका विश्वास, सबका प्रयास का आधार भी है.
Underlining the developmental projects being carried out at Ayodhya, the Prime Minister said that the government was focusing on the overall development of the country. Mr. Modi said that we have learned from Kartavya Bal by Lord Shri Ram and have come up with the Kartavya Path to honor his governance.
बीते 8 वर्षों में देश ने हिंद भावना की इन बेड़ियों को तोड़ा है. हमने भारत के तीर्थों के विकास की एक समग्र सोच को सामने रखा है. हमने राम मंदिर और काशी विश्वनाथ धाम से लेकर केदारनाथ और महाकाल महालोक तक घनघोर उपेक्षा के शिकार हमारी आस्था के स्थानों के गौरव को पुनर्जीवित किया है. एक समग्र प्रयास कैसे समग्र विकास का जरिया बन जाता है, आज देश इसका साक्षी है.
Mr. Modi said that Lord Shri Ram was the inspiration behind his governance slogan of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. This is Prime Minister Modi's first visit to Ayodhya after the Bhumi Pujan for the construction of Ram Temple in 2020. The Prime Minister also performed the Rajyabhishek of symbolic Bhagwan Shri Ram and witnessed Aarti at New Ghat Saryu River, which was followed by the lighting of Grand Deepotsav.
जब श्री राम का अभिषेक होता है तो हमारे भीतर भगवान राम के आदर्श और मूल्य और दृढ़ हो जाते हैं. राम के अभिषेक के साथ ही उनका दिखाया पथ और प्रदीप्त हो उठता है. अयोध्या की तो रज रज में, कण कण में उनका दर्शन समाहित है.
Deepotsav is being celebrated for the 6th consecutive year with its scale increasing every year. We have more from our correspondent.
Thousands of devotees, general public and dignitaries are witnessing the spectacular event of the Deeposhow show in which lakhs of diyas are illuminated on the bank of river Saryu at Ram Ki Paidi in Ayodhya. All temples, even those in narrow lane and by-lane of Ayodhya, are decorated and illuminated on the occasion. 32 others ghat in Ayodhya are also being illuminated with diyas. The Ayodhya administration and Uttar Pradesh Tourism Department have mobilized more than 22,000 volunteers for task of lighting diyas. Dilip Shukla, AIR News, Ayodhya.
Earlier, Prime Minister Modi offered prayers to Ram Lala Virajman at Sri Ram Janmabhoomi. He lit an earthen lamp there and performed Aarati. He was also briefed about the ongoing construction for a grand Ram temple at the site.
President Draupadi Murmu and Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar have greeted people on the eve of Diwali. In her message, Ms. Murmu said, Diwali is a festival of happiness and joy. She said the festival of Diwali is also an occasion to further strengthen the spirit of mutual cooperation and harmony. She added that the light of Diwali symbolizes the knowledge that dispels all the darkness of inner and outer ignorance. The President hoped that the spirit of helping the underprivileged grow deep in the minds of people and asked people to continue the tradition of Shubh and Labh. Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar said, Deepavali signifies the advent of Ram Rajya, which is the ideal of benign, benevolent governance. He said the festival reaffirms belief in virtuous life of Lord Ram. He hoped the festival of light brings wisdom, piety, prosperity and peace in everyone's lives. The Delhi government has begun anti-firecracker campaign Diya Jalao Patake Nahi to promote a pollution-free festival of Diwali. The campaign was launched yesterday to stop people from bursting firecrackers and encourage them to celebrate Diwali with diyas. To check air pollution, the storage, sale and use of all types of firecrackers has already been banned in the national capital till 1st January next year. As per Delhi government order, those found indulging in storage, production and sale of crackers will have to pay a fine of 5,000 rupees and face an imprisonment of 3 years as well. Those found bursting crackers will be imposed a fine of 200 rupees and face an imprisonment for 6 months. The city government has formed 210 teams of Delhi police and 165 teams of the revenue department to enforce the ban on firecrackers. Meanwhile, tomorrow, on the occasion of Diwali, the last metro train service will be available at 10 p.m. from terminal stations of all Delhi metro lines. The metro line services will run as usual on all the lines for the rest of the day.
In the T20 World Cup, India beat its arch-rival Pakistan by 4 wickets at the Melbourne Cricket Ground in Australia in a nail-biting finish. India reached the target of 160 runs on the last ball of the match after the loss of 6 wickets. King Kohli's swashbuckling knock of 82 off 53 balls helped India to register an emphatic win. It was R. Ashwin who hit the winning stroke. Earlier, India won the toss and opted to field. For India, both Arshdeep Singh and Hardik Pandya took 3 wickets each. We have a report from our sports desk.
Virat Kohli once again proved why he is one of the best chasers in cricket when he powered India to an incredible 4-wicket victory over Pakistan in a thrilling match in front of over 90,000 fans. When the chips were down, Kohli stitched a match-winning knock of 82 off just 52 balls to guide India to a last ball finish. Speaking after being adjudged man of the match, Kohli said he himself was overwhelmed by his performance.
Well, it's a surreal atmosphere. I honestly have no words. I have no idea how that happened. Hardik kept telling me, just believe we can do it, stay till the end. Honestly, I'm lost for words.
India suffered early blows in its innings after losing 4 wickets, but then Kohli and Pandya stepped in. They helped the team bounce back and put the pressure back on the bowlers. Especially Kohli unveiled a flurry of strokes which included flashing cover drives, front-footed hooks and pulls which put formidable Pak bowling attack out of the gear. Needless to say that today's encounter at Melbourne Cricket Ground will be remembered as a comeback match of King Kohli. With Prityush Ghosh, Tripti Srivastav, Sports Desk.
Home Minister Amit Shah, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and Sports Minister Anurag Singh Thakur have congratulated the Indian cricket team for its victory over Pakistan. Mr. Shah called it a perfect way to start the T20 World Cup. He lauded Virat Kohli's performance. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh praised the phenomenal effort by Team India against Pakistan. He said Virat Kohli played one of the finest innings of his life. He added that this victory has delighted all Indian cricket fans around the world. Youth Affairs and Sports Minister Anurag Singh Thakur said, on the eve of Deepavali, the win of the Indian cricket team is a gift to the nation, where every house is illuminated with the lamp of victory. He lauded the performance of Virat Kohli. Mr. Thakur added that Team India's World Cup campaign has begun with a brilliant win.
You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi participates in Diwali Deepotsav at Ayodhya. Says Ayodhya is a reflection of our culture and showcases India's might. Prime Minister says Lord Ram is the symbol of Indian spirit, which believes our rights are self-evident by our duties. Asserts Lord Ram is inspiration behind the slogan of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. India beat arch-rival Pakistan by 4 wickets in a nail-biting finish in World Cup T20 at Melbourne. Home Minister, Defence Minister and Sports Minister congratulate the team. ISRO successfully launches LV-M3-M2, the first dedicated commercial mission to place all 36 satellites into the intended orbits. Rishi Sunak confirms to run for the next Prime Minister of Britain. And Cyclone Sitrang likely to trigger rainfall in northeast, West Bengal and Odisha from tonight. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
अपने बिजनेस को बढ़ाने के लिए लीजिए आकाशवाणी का सहयोग और दीजिए उसे बुलंदियों के पंख।
आपका बिजनेस लोकल है या राष्ट्रीय, आकाशवाणी देती है उपभोक्ताओं तक पहुंचने का हर विकल्प।
और अब तो आप घर, दफ्तर या दुकान पर बैठे बैठे कर सकते हैं आकाशवाणी के किसी भी केंद्र के लिए विज्ञापनों की बुकिंग।
आकाशवाणी के विभिन्न चैनलों पर विज्ञापन देना सुलभ और सस्ता।
बुकिंग है तो संपर्क करें 8700014242 पर।
8700014242।
आकाशवाणी आपके लिए लेकर आया है कार्यक्रम एक कदम और बुजुर्गों के लिए, हर रविवार रात 9:30 बजे FM गोल्ड पर। रविवार 25 सितंबर को प्रसारित होने वाले कार्यक्रम का विषय है बुजुर्गों की सुरक्षा। आप अपने सवाल हमें इस नंबर पर भेज सकते हैं 9289094044। आप इस पते पर हमें ईमेल भी कर सकते हैं एक कदम और airnews@gmail.com।
Welcome back. You are tuned to the evening news on All India Radio. Indian Space Research Organisation, ISRO, has successfully launched LV-M3-M2, the first dedicated commercial mission few minutes past midnight from the Satish Dhawan Space Centre, Sriharikota in Andhra Pradesh. ISRO said all the 36 satellites were placed into the intended orbits. The launch of ISRO's heaviest launcher is a historic milestone for its commercial arm, New Space India Limited. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has congratulated ISRO, the New Space India Limited and InSpace on the successful launch. Mr. Modi said in a tweet, LV-M3 has exemplified self-reliance and enhanced country's competitive edge in the global commercial launch service market. Speaking after the launch, ISRO chairperson S. Somanath said, it is a happy Diwali for all those at SHAR Centre as the launch was successful and the separation of the satellites were precisely done. He said all the satellites are in accurate intended orbits. Our correspondent has filed this report. The Home Ministry has cancelled the Foreign Contribution Regulation Act FCRA licenses of the Rajiv Gandhi Foundation RGF and the Rajiv Gandhi Charitable Trust RGCT for the alleged violation of laws. These two NGOs are currently being headed by the former Congress President Sonia Gandhi. Official sources said that the FCRA licenses have been cancelled after carrying out an investigation against these NGOs. The Home Ministry had formed an inter-ministerial committee in the 2020 to investigate certain irregularities regarding alleged manipulation of documents while filing income tax or misuse or laundering of money received from foreign countries. The BJP has welcomed the Home Ministry's decision to cancel the FCRA licenses of the RGF and the RGCT. Briefing reporters in New Delhi, party spokesperson Sambit Patra said These two NGOs are associated with the Gandhi family. Mr. Patra alleged that the donation was received by this organization thrice from the Communist Party of China and the Embassy of China.
Ayush Minister Sarbanand Sonowal has stressed on the need to promote awareness among people about the ability, strength and power of the Indian traditional system of medicines. Speaking at the celebration of 7th Ayurveda Day in New Delhi today, Mr. Sonowal said this traditional system not only prevents diseases but also preserves and promotes the health of human beings.
आयुर्वेदा के जरिए अब दुनिया के मानव समाज को अलग-अलग बीमारियों से जैसे राहत मिली है और इस आयुर्वेदा में जो शक्ति बसा हुआ है, आज 21वीं सदी में इस शक्ति को अधिक हमें उजागर करना होगा, अधिक इस पर लोगों का बीच चर्चा का विषय बने, इस पर हमें ध्यान देना होगा.
Mr. Sonowal said the countrymen should understand the power of Indian traditional system of medicines which is in practice for thousands of years. He said this will also help the country in becoming self-reliant. Mr. Sonowal added that with the support of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the Ayush sector has found a unique position globally.
आज दोनों मंत्रालय के बीच में एक समझौता हुआ, ट्रैवल अफेयर्स एंड मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ आयुष, और अगले दिनों में देश के अंदर 10 करोड़ ट्राइबल भाई और बहनों के लिए हमारे दोनों मंत्रालय इस सेक्टर पर विशेष रूप से भूमिका निभाएंगे.
Minister of State for Ayush, Dr. Munjpara Mahendrabhai Kalubhai said the government has taken various initiatives to develop, promote and accelerate the Ayush system in the country. He said the World Health Organization has recognized Global Center for Traditional Medicine, which is being established at Jamnagar in Gujarat. More than 219 crore 55 lakh vaccine doses have been administered in the country so far under the nationwide COVID-19 vaccination drive. The Union Health and Family Welfare Ministry said over 210,000 vaccine doses were administered in the last 24 hours. During the same period, 1,994 new COVID cases were reported in the country. More than 2,600 people have recovered in the last 24 hours. With this, the active caseload further reduced to 23,432.
Over the past 75 years since independence, India's largest public service broadcaster, All India Radio, has been the proverbial storyteller for crores of people across the country. All India Radio is celebrating 75 years of freedom with a series, Azad Bharat Ki Baat Akashwani Ke Saath. It showcases the journey of India since independence in various walks of life through the storytelling of All India Radio. In today's episode, we bring you the story of All India Radio's role in propagation of sports.
All India Radio has played a big role in the propagation of sports across the country through its live commentary. Whether it is about cricket, football or hockey, All India Radio covers every small and big tournament, bringing the excitement of the games to its listeners in every corner of the country. Listeners fell in love with sport through radio commentary. Then there was no television, there was no internet. They created a world only from the radio commentators' words. Radio cricket commentary in India started in the early 1940s when All India Radio Bombay invited Adishit Furdoji Sorabji Bobby Talyar Khan, popularly known as AFST, for his columns in the newspapers.
But to lower these feats came along Vijay Hazare, who at Adelaide in 1948 recorded 100 in each innings of a test.
All India Radio invited the likes of Berry, Sabdak Hikari, Pearson Surita of Calcutta, Devraj Puri, and Vizzy Maharaj Kumar of Vizianagaram to do English cricket commentaries. In the 50s, the best commentators were Devraj Puri, Berry and Pearson, who in the late 50s and early 60s were joined by Dicky Rutnagar and Vijay Merchant. All of them had played the game and had good language and vocal skills. Sports commentary is incomplete without naming Melville DeMello and Jasdev Singh.
अब्बास भारतीय टीम है और उन्होंने सेंटर की, लेकिन उससे पहले सुरजीत ने खूबसूरती से अजीत पाल ने गेंद अपने टीम में से बाहर कर दी बाएं फ्लैंक में और ये खेल खत्म. भारत 2-1 से जीत गया. भारत विश्व हॉकी चैंपियन है. ये समाचार मैं मेलविल डिमेलो के साथ आपको कोलालमपुर से देता हूं 2-1 से.
The late 50s saw the emergence of Hindi cricket commentaries which took the game of cricket to the hinterlands. Ravi Chaturvedi and Joga Rao became popular commentators in the late 60s and 70s. These commentators were later joined by Manish Deb, Sushil Doshi, Skan Gupt and M.M. Manjul in the 80s and 90s. The 70s and 80s saw commentators like Anant Setalvad, Suresh Saraiya and Raj Singh Dungarpur. Akashvani Samachar brings the sports news of the day to the listeners through its program Sports Scan, which is broadcast every day at 7:20 p.m.
नमस्कार, गुड इवनिंग, शुभ संध्या दोस्तों। स्वागत है आपका अपने ही कार्यक्रम स्पोर्ट्स स्कैन में। अगले 15 मिनट खेल जगत की ढेर सारी खबरें होंगी। स्वीकार कीजिए लवलीन निगम का नमस्कार।
आज के स्पोर्ट्स स्कैन के इस अंक के साथ मैं हूं आपका होस्ट और दोस्त सिद्धार्थ सिंह।
नमस्कार, स्पोर्ट्स स्कैन के आज के संस्करण में आप सबका बहुत बहुत स्वागत। खेल जगत की तमाम खबरों का लेखा जोखा लेकर मैं हूं नवीन सक्सेना।
नमस्कार, स्पोर्ट्स स्कैन में आप सभी का बहुत बहुत स्वागत है। मैं हूं आनंद श्रीवास्तव।
During the Tokyo Olympics, to engage people through All India Radio News and to cheer the sportspersons, Olympic quiz Akashvani Samachar ke saath was started with AIR News, which attracted a large number of listeners from across the country and abroad. Listeners not only took part in this quiz, but also conveyed their best wishes to Indian athletes to win medals for the country. Similar quizzes were also conducted during the Commonwealth Games.
नमस्कार, मैं समीक्षा शाल्वी रांची झारखंड की रहने वाली हूं और मैं ऑल इंडिया रेडियो के स्पोर्ट्स स्कैन कॉमनवेल्थ गेम्स क्विज की विजेता चुनी जाने पर अति उत्साहित हूं। मैं ऑल इंडिया रेडियो की नियमित श्रोता हूं, जिसका प्रसारण मुझे बहुत ही सटीक और ज्ञानवर्धक लगता है और इसके लिए मैं ऑल इंडिया रेडियो का धन्यवाद करती हूं।
Senior sports journalist Mona Parthasarathy has appreciated the role of All India Radio in bringing sports news to the remotest place of the country.
All India Radio or Akashvani has touched almost every aspect of our lives and sport is no exception. Actually, Akashvani and sports have long and deep connection. We grew up hearing stories about how people used to stick to their radios when Indian hockey team was performing in Olympics, and that was the only medium to know about their performances, and that was the golden period of Indian hockey. Then today also, though we have many mediums like social media, television, mobile phone, but still the charm of All India Radio or Akashvani remains the same. There are many programs like Sports Scan, quizzes, commentary, which have contributed immensely to popularize sport across the country and develop the sporting culture which we always talk about.
आजाद भारत की बात आकाशवाणी के साथ कैन बी एक्सेस्ड ऑन AIR न्यूज अलर्ट्स ऑन ट्विटर, न्यूज ऑन AIR ऑफिशियल यूट्यूब चैनल, न्यूज ऑन AIR ऐप, Facebook and Instagram handles. So tune into All India Radio News for Azad Bharat Ki Baat Akashwani ke saath. Rishi Sunak has confirmed that he will compete for the post of UK's Prime Minister to replace Liz Truss. Sunak announced on Twitter that he wanted to fix the economic crisis and deliver for the country. Britain's former Finance Minister Sunak lost to Truss in the race to become the Prime Minister in September this year after the Conservative Party membership voted by post in the final runoff in favour of Truss. Amid the economic and political crisis, Truss announced his resignation on Thursday. So far, she will be the shortest serving Prime Minister of the country with a tenure of just 45 days.
Chinese President Xi Jinping unveiled a new leadership team today, dominated by his allies in the Politburo Standing Committee as he entered the third term. Xi was again elected as General Secretary of the ruling Communist Party at the first plenary session of the 20th CPC Central Committee today. The committee also elected the new 24-member Politburo and 7 members of its Standing Committee. With this, Xi further consolidated his power as he crushed the party factionalism, removing 4 out of 7 members of the previous Standing Committee. A report from our Beijing correspondent.
A day after China wrapped up its top political meeting, the Party Congress, President Xi Jinping walked into Beijing's Great Hall of People, followed by members of the Communist Party's new Politburo Standing Committee in descending ranking order. Shanghai Party Chief Li Qiang was the first member behind Xi to walk into a hall packed with journalists, confirming his second-in-command in hierarchy and signaling that he will become the country's next premier. Other 5 members have also been close associates of Xi. For the first time in a quarter century, there will be no women in the Politburo after the retirement of its sole female member, Sun Chunlan, a vice premier and China's top pandemic handler. Some of the current leaders were dropped, including Premier Li Keqiang, while the just-ended Congress set out top officials and she as head of the party and military. Some government positions will be confirmed in March at the National People's Congress, China's rubber-stamp parliament. She will renew his presidency for a third term after he ditched a two-term limit from China's constitution in 2018, opening the door for him to rule for life. Anshuman Mishra, AIR News, Beijing.
UNICEF has warned that health facilities are reporting alarming levels of severe acute malnutrition among children in the aftermath of the devastating floods in Pakistan. According to a UNICEF statement, more than 1 in 9 children under 5 admitted to health facilities in flood-affected areas of Sindh and Balochistan were found to be suffering from severe acute malnutrition. Of the over 22,000 children screened by health professionals since September 2022 at health facilities in flood-affected regions, more than 2,630 were diagnosed with severe acute malnutrition. Severe acute malnutrition, also known as severe wasting, is a life-threatening condition where children are too thin for their height, resulting in weakened immune systems. According to UNICEF, the lack of safe drinking water and hygiene increases the risk of wasting, as unsafe water can cause diarrhea and prevent children from getting the nutrients they need to survive.
Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida and his Australian counterpart Anthony Albanese agreed to boost practical defence cooperation between the two nations amid growing assertiveness by China in the Asia-Pacific region. Japanese Prime Minister, who is on a 3-day visit to Australia, signed a joint declaration with Mr. Albanese. In the declaration, Japan and Australia have agreed to take action against countries violating international rules and norms. In the latest declaration, the two leaders confirmed the significance of a free and open Indo-Pacific, a vision advocated by former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. Cyclone Sitrang, which is heading towards Bangladesh, is likely to trigger rainfall in the northeast, West Bengal and Odisha. India Met Department has forecast the cyclone will cross Bangladesh coast between Tinkona Island and Sandvapor around Tuesday morning. IMD said the cyclone's impact will be felt in Odisha and West Bengal, and both states will see moderate to heavy rainfall beginning today. The northeast region is also likely to experience moderate rain during Diwali. Several state governments in the northeastern region have directed the district and disaster management authorities to make advanced precautionary measures to deal with the cyclonic situations. Russian fighter plane has crashed into a building in the Irkutsk city of Siberia, wherein the 2 pilots were killed. According to the government report, the warplane, a Sukhoi Su-30 fighter, was on a test flight while it crashed on a residential building in the Siberian city. It is for the second time in less than a week in which a Russian fighter plane has crashed in a residential area. And now let us have a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. The national capital Delhi is expected to have mainly clear sky. Minimum temperature will be 15 and the maximum around 31 degrees. Mumbai is likely to experience mainly clear sky. Minimum temperature will be 23 and the maximum 35 degrees. Kolkata is expected to have generally cloudy sky with heavy rain. The minimum temperature will be 23 and maximum around 29. Chennai is expected to have thunderstorm with rain. Muzaffarabad will have mainly clear sky. The minimum temperature will be 12 degrees Celsius and the maximum around 31 degrees. In the south, Hyderabad will have partly cloudy sky with haze. Bengaluru will have partly cloudy sky with possibility of development of thunder lightning. Temperature will vary between 18 and 29 degrees Celsius. Thiruvananthapuram will have generally cloudy sky with a few spells of rain or thunder showers. Temperature will hover between 24 and 33 degrees Celsius. In the northeast, Guwahati will have generally cloudy sky with continuous rain. Gangtok is expected to have mainly clear sky. Shillong will have generally cloudy sky. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi participates in Diwali Deepotsav at Ayodhya, says Ayodhya is a reflection of our culture and showcases India's might. Prime Minister says Lord Ram is the symbol of Indian spirit, which believes our rights are self-evident by our duties. Asserts Lord Ram is inspiration behind the slogan of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. India beat arch-rival Pakistan by 4 wickets in a nail-biting finish in the World Cup T20 at Melbourne. Home Minister, Defence Minister and Sports Minister congratulate the team. ISRO successfully launches LVM-3M2, the first dedicated commercial mission to place all 36 satellites in intended orbits. Rishi Sunak confirms to run for the next Prime Minister of Britain. And cyclone Sitrang likely to trigger rainfall in the northeast, West Bengal and Odisha from tonight. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.